Why Change is one of various things that I work on in my area of youth engagement within the Berry Street Childhood Institute. It was originally planned to be a 12-month pilot project that was around youth leadership and social change, and the youth leadership part was the kind of emphasis at the beginning. And the idea was that it would create a bridge on which young people who've got lived experience of disadvantage could start to understand the skills and the knowledge and the expertise that they have developed as a result of their experiences. It was really important to us to start to promote and embody a concept of equality of expertise. So a recognition that the expertise that young people draw from their experiences of disadvantage is of equal value when we're talking about systems change and identifying problems in support systems. We really wanted to embody that for them in the language that we used and in the way that we showed respect for what they had to offer. And that worked way quicker than we expected.
My name's Crystal Moon, and I've been working in the youth engagement sort of section in Berry Street for the last 2 years. We were definitely given a platform. I think that people really want to give youth engagement a go, but it's about doing it in a way that is real and not just doing it for the sake of doing it, but really doing it because they're prepared to allow those young people's ideas to really form and shape the way that those agencies will function now and into the future.
There was huge readiness in the group to kind of grasp hold of that recognition of everything that they felt like they had to offer had value, and that there was value in their experiences, there was value in the knowledge that they now had, there was value in things that at the time had felt like they were completely lacking value. They rapidly transformed their sense of entitlement and their sense that they had a right to start talking to people about what should be done differently. And they felt like they had a right to be in the spaces where those conversations were happening.
Why Change sort of changed my perspective of, instead of saying something like, oh yeah, I'm Maddie and I came from a residential unit, I was a resi kid. I can say, hey, I work consulting people because I'm an expert in residential care. To go from I'm a resi kid, here's my experience, to saying I'm an expert in all about residential care. Shift in that thought of not just me and my experience, but me and my expertise is really good. That's come out of Why Change, which is very unique.
Gives them a chance to develop their skills beyond that of a young person and into a professional.
One area in which I think Berry Street has really been leading the way is in terms of building youth participation, child and young people's participation in an organisation like Berry Street. A lot of organisations are committed to engaging with young people, being influenced by what young people have experienced and what they have to say. Berry Street has really put their money where their mouths are in the Why Change program. So they understand that yes, you've got to support young people so that they can have positions of influence and use their lived experience and that expertise to drive organisational directions and change and broader change. But the Why Change program that Berry Street has supported and is running is really leading the way.
That young people who have experienced disadvantage are the only people who can tell us what it is like to live the consequences of a policy that's written in a government office somewhere. So they're the only ones who can talk to us about what this written document actually means for a person on the ground. They're the only people who can bring us that real life perspective, and that is an expertise that we can't find anywhere else. There is gold in what they bring to the table. There is real gold that changes the game. It changes the way that this stuff has to be done. I hope that what Why Change is able to achieve is a shift in people's perception of what young people are capable of. It's about raising the bar, making something constructive out of something that was destructive is really important.
And that is, again, it's an example of, I do think Berry Street and the Why Change program have really influenced other organisations and government, importantly, picking up the conversation about, okay, how do we do this? How do we do this differently? How do we make sure young people are involved, but are supported to be involved and are involved in a meaningful way?
And that in itself has really raised the expectation internally of the young people. It's not just ranting and raving, it's, you know, these people want to take us seriously.
This is a professional setting and everyone's equal, so it is just inherently safe, it's inherently respectful, and I think that feeling of that expectation, without having to build it to that, it's just, that's the foundation of it. We can see change within just the attitudes around the sort of stuff in like the sector, so it's exciting knowing that we're actually seeing something. It's like this should be the norm because it can be. It's capable of this being this sort of level of youth participation, of empowerment. This could be widespread, this could be put in every organisation, every service, every just business in general.
We have to start creating an inroad and a way to change those systems for it to actually make any change.
We, whether it's Berry Street or the broader community, we're not just using their experience and their information. Berry Street set up a program that actually supports them and trains them, gives them remuneration, which is completely appropriate for the work that these young people are putting in, and positions them incredibly well to go on and continue to be strong advocates, well and truly beyond the Why Change program. It's incredibly sensible for Berry Street because Berry Street gets the benefit internally of these young people and what they know and their perspectives. It's very, very beneficial, incredibly beneficial for the broader community and government because they can shape and are shaping policy. And without their input, we're missing a whole part of the picture, frankly, but it's also really sensible and beneficial for those individual young people. It's a fantastic program. And again, I would say, Berry Street has really led the way on that. They're ahead of the Commission, I have to say. I'm trying to follow, but they're ahead of us.
And I think Berry Street is renowned for their innovative way that they do things. You know, they're prepared to take risks. I think that's what makes the difference. If you can't step outside what you know and try something new, innovation will never come. The dream for the future is that this isn't something particularly that Berry Street wants to possess. This is a movement that we really want to push throughout the whole sector because all young people have something to say, and it's about getting the organisation to really listen in a way that they're prepared to create action on.
When you have experienced trauma, when you've experienced abuse and neglect, when you have felt like you are not valuable to anyone, realising that you are useful, that you have something that other people need, that's a really exciting moment, and what they gain and what is powerful in that experience of disadvantage.